sectors which will be in focus: aircraft part makers, data centers. How will removal of tariffs benefit some of these companies? We're speaking with Equus today, and Arvind Meligari, the Executive Chairman and CEO, is with us. We're also speaking with Tarun Dua, founder and MD of E2E Networks, to talk about the benefit of their deals and their respective sectors. Welcome to both of you, and thank you for joining in. We thought we'd have an overview from two disparate sectors looking at the impact of the deal. Tarun, I'm going to start with you. What does this mean for your sector, for your company specifically?
Sure. So let's first talk about the sector. So see, in India, we are always short of capital. Now, if you look at like, what is it? See, if we are building gigawatts, many gigawatts of data centers. So what is it that like 1 megawatt of data center off takes in terms of equipment like GPUs? So it takes like to fill up 1 megawatt, like some $50 million. So, which means that like to fill up one gigawatt, like that's $50 million into 1,000. So, like literally, we are talking about like massive amount of money over here to fill up like just 1 gigawatt of data center capacity that we are building. Now, see, it looks like that like this particular tax holiday for foreign cloud providers is something new. See, all these foreign cloud providers, ultimately, they are doing a online service. So where like what was de facto that like you are providing an online service outside India, your income is being earned outside India. Simply, you are taking one of the inputs in India, which is a data center. So that was leading to like a lot of tax disputes for these guys. Now, like we are literally talking about like 10 gigawatts of data center space being built in India, and we were talking about like $500 billion of investment required to fill in those data centers. Now, obviously, $500 billion cannot like come from India alone. It's not just Indian cloud providers who can like fill up this $500 billion. So we needed to become the GPU cloud startup capital of the world. And with this removal of tax uncertainty, like which only benefits like not just the bigger players coming from outside India, which anyway figure out like how to do the taxes correctly in India and kind of like have the wherewithal to navigate the tax structures and the code structures of India. Like having removal of uncertainty actually helps like every single cloud GPU startup in the world to look at India as an investment destination. Now, coming back to how it helps a company like E2E has been around in the cloud space for past 16 years.
Right.
Like we know how to navigate the Indian market,
Sure.
and this really opens up potential partnerships over like next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, while the cloud GPU is going to grow.
Yeah. The availability of capital is extremely important.
So basically, like if we are able to kind of like turn on this fire hose of capital, half
Yes.
$500 billion coming to India,
Yes.
this would obviously benefit like a company like E2E who knows
Sure.
kind of like the entire life cycle of
Point,
how to run the
point
cloud
well made,
computing.
Mr. Dua. Point well made, and so exciting times for your industry, and data centers, something that
Absolutely.
practically everybody is talking about. I do want to get Arvind in though, because
Sure.
for yours, and by the way, gentlemen, both of your stocks doing particularly well today because the street is looking at it very positively as well. But Arvind, you want to enumerate the opportunity for you in particular, because it's a specific mention. The parts that you are selling overseas and specifically to the US, there is a significant benefit. Can you enumerate that?
Absolutely. If you really look at it, aerospace industry, aviation, split between Airbus and Boeing predominantly historically, and we were supplying parts to both Airbus and Boeing historically, and with a zero tax impact. And this tariff was a big overhang towards the US side of it. And a lot of discussions because most of these parts are single sourced and customers had no choice but to pay the duty and spending like millions of dollars every month on just on our products, and they were paying for it. But ultimately, it was impacting the cash flow from operations because they were getting ultimately reimbursed when they exported their products. But the lot of discussions are going on within the customer. How do you look at this? Because programs are 20, 30 year long. And if tariffs are not addressed, there's going to be impact on how they can procure from India. And they have started getting impacted, further discussions in the coming year and new RFQs. How do they factor in the duties? And this is a complete overhand taken away. And that should help Boeing to source more from India without any hesitation. And I believe this is a big boost for the industry, in my view, both from OEM perspective and also India manufacturer perspective. We are a very small portion of the 2% of the global supply chain passes through India today. And opportunities we'll be 10% of the global market in the coming years.
Arvind,
and we have opportunity for us to
Arvind, sorry,
be
Arvind,
there.
Arvind, sorry, Arvind, Neeraj here, just trying to come in. Does this enhance the opportunity, or does it remove a roadblock that would have been there during that period when there were punitive tariffs on India?
No, this enhances opportunity because Boeing is looking to Boeing went through a lot of challenges, and they are trying to enhance and sourcing from India. And historically, they are not sourced as much as Airbus. And this was basically, by taking this out, they are basically making it easier for them to source more from India. That's what I would say. It's a big opportunity for Boeing to pick it up.
Okay. So last question, at least one question from my end to Tarun Duade. For Tarun, could you just come in and tell us in numerical terms, if you can just explain, based on whatever you're doing right now, what does this trade deal, if it does, enhance in terms of opportunity size for you?
I think we are already connected to the global opportunity size. So this essentially improves the access between India and the rest of the world. So I think it increases the overall opportunity for India as a whole and E2E, of course, to kind of access the global market with much better availability of the ecosystem. So it's we are building the cloud and data center ecosystem of the world by doing this particular tax holiday. So that obviously increases a lot more partnerships, opportunities for being kind of becoming a global player. So I think that's the main tailwinds that we get over here.
Okay, thank you so much, both Tarun and Arvind, for coming in and setting that stage. And there are innumerable companies and sectors who will benefit. Their details will emerge, because remember, it's not just the India-US trade deal. There have been several others that have been inked and more to come, as the Union Commerce Minister told us. So thank you to both of you.